Hey guys, you guessed it. I'm out in my truck. You're probably wondering how this happened. Okay, I went out and I grabbed my chair and I set my tripod up and I was gonna video, and then all of a sudden the wind just kicked up like hurricane gale. Okay, maybe not hurricane, but you can see the trees out here just rocking, and so it was just too bad. Even the lapel mic would have picked it up. And so I thought, okay, I'll just maybe wait a little bit. But then all of a sudden it started raining. So I said, yeah, I'm just going to get in the pickup. And so I got in the pickup, and then I set my camera up there. And I go, hey, this would be a perfect place just to do it, because I'm kind of outside, but at the same time I'm inside. So this is going to be a regular thing, because what I want to start doing is every week I want to do a Q&A, because I get so many questions that I can't answer all of them, because I get a lot of questions on the forum, and then I get them on the YouTube channel, and it's just many times it's hard to answer them all. Now on the forum it's nice because there are other people on the forum that usually when somebody posts a question, you know, half a dozen people will answer it, which is really good. But on the YouTube channel, not so much. It's when people ask questions, they're specifically asking me a question. So anyways, yeah, we're in the pickup, and I think, I don't know, it's kind of its own little sound booth. It's dry, and I don't get a lot of the noise around and stuff like that, and frogs aren't croaking, right? So anyways, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start doing it in here. So it's going to be a weekly thing, so make sure you watch for that. Anyways, when I read the question, I'm not going to bother reading the screen name or the username of the person that asked it, because I mean, maybe some people on the forum don't want their name all over YouTube. I don't know, but anyways, it's the internet, right? We're all exposed on the internet, so some more than others. But anyways, I'm gonna just read the question and then and just answer it. So the very first question is, what is the advantage of starting seeds in cells instead of trays? Do you really have to spend the extra money? Well, no, you don't have to. But the deal is, I mean, you could start seeds in anything. You know, I had a video that, you know, seed starting, you know, how to do it in any kind of paper cups or anything. You could certainly do it in that. But the deal is why a lot of commercial people do it that way, is because in individual cells, they're kind of their own little plant. So when you go to repot them, all you got to do is pop it out and then stick it into its permanent place or its next staging place. You don't when you grow them a lot of times in a big tray or just in one large cell, the roots kind of tend to, you know, tangle up and they get together, and you got to pull them apart, and you could damage the roots and stuff. So that's why it's really a good idea to start them in cells if you have the cells. If you don't have the cells and you don't want to spend the money, it's really no big deal, because as long as they're not too close together, the roots shouldn't be developed greatly to the point where they're going to start tangling up and knot and marry together. And so really it's no big deal. You don't have to spend the money. If you just want to use whatever you have laying around, just use that and see how it works. But yeah, don't spend the extra money if you don't want to. I mean, you know, unless you're going to grow, you know, 1,000 plants and then you have to try to divide them and, you know, move them out, then yeah, maybe the cells are easier. But anyways, second question, I have heard that cardboard is bad for the compost. Is this true? You know, we could get really tweaky, because a lot of food comes in cardboard. You know, you go buy a pizza, right, and you get a cardboard box. Your pizza is laying bare on the cardboard, and lots of things come in cardboard. So for me to put it into the compost pile and let it break down, I mean, it's going to break down. It's got to be even better. I mean, I saw this video on YouTube where the guy talked about not using cardboard because there's glue, especially the corrugated. There's some kind of a glue where there's a little separation, and then there's that corrugation in between, and they use some kind of a glue in there. If you really want to get tweaky, then okay, you could. I mean, to me, that's not a hill to die on. I mean, it's like, I'm not really too concerned about that. I don't think the glues in there are so nasty, toxic, and I mean, if you're concerned about it, yeah, then don't use it. Don't use corrugated. Just use you know, just flat pieces or whatever, and maybe no dyes in it, just brown. So yeah, you could get tweaky. You could get tweaky, and I don't worry about it too much. So yeah, I don't know where, you know, I don't know what kind of glues or anything they use in there, so I wouldn't stress it. So, but if you want to stress it, go ahead. Next question. Every time I grow lettuce, it's bitter when I pick it. How can I prevent this? Well, okay, there's a couple things probably going on. Lettuce gets bitter when it's stressed, or when it's starting to go to seed. And actually, it'll start to go to seed when it's stressed. So what happens is, if it gets too hot, too cold, variations in temperature, up and down, and things, the growing conditions aren't right for it, then your lettuce is going to get stressed, and and stress means that it's going to start bolting. It says, okay, I'm done with this. I'm going to check out. I'm screw this, and it starts to go. So like me, I have 4 different kinds of lettuce growing. Okay, one of them I got this year that was supposed to be a slow bolt, and it's not a slow bolt. The first week of hot weather that we had in the 80s, that thing went, and then all of a sudden a seed head started forming, and it was as bitter as all get out. I went and got Eva's burgundy lettuce, and somebody had told me that it was a slow bolt, and it tolerated the heat. That wasn't the case. That same thing happened. We had a warm spell here, and then it got really bitter. I tried some of it. It was fine until that hot spell. When that hot spell hit, I tried a piece, and it was so bitter I had to spit it out. But anyways, let me take the camera, and let me show you 2 that I've got growing in that vertical tower. One of them is just a regular lettuce. I don't even know the name of it. Somebody gave me the seeds, and I planted that, and we've had screaming hot weather, and I taste it, and it's great. I put it in a salad, and I put some on a sandwich today, and it's awesome. But the Eva's burgundy decided to just bolt on me, and it's been bitter for 2 weeks now, and it's going to seed. But let me grab the camera and show you. Okay, it's seriously windy, so I'm just trying to get a good shot here. Anyways, this here is the Eva's burgundy lettuce, and you see that flower head that's starting. That is going to go to seed. For some reason, this thing somebody told me that it was a slow bolting lettuce. That's just not true. This thing went bitter on me like the 3rd day we had warm weather. This thing just went bitter, and it went south on me. Now I have some other lettuce. Let me show you this. Now this lettuce down here, I've got tons of this growing too. I've got some raised. I just watered this, but this here is really good stuff. I mean, that's really good. And it's not because it's shaded more because of these other plants. It's just that this it's not even starting to go to seed, and it's not bitter at all, so it's not stressed. I have some more up on top here that is the same stuff, and it tastes exactly the same. So this is good lettuce, so this is much slower bolting. So your lettuce, different varieties, tend to do different things. Now here's another one here of this Eva's that's starting to go to seed too. So anyways, the variety has a lot to do with it. Here's the Eva's here. See that starting to flower there. But anyways, so I mean, there it is. I think the best thing that you can do is try different varieties and see which one decides to bolt or get bitter on you. You can try a slow bolt one, but pretty much what's going to happen is if you live in a hot area, once it heats up, once your weather starts getting warm, your lettuce is going to go. It's going to tank on you. It's just because that's just the way it is. I mean, some people say, well, grow it in the shade. Look, if you grow lettuce in 100 degrees in the shade, it doesn't matter. It's 100 degrees outside, and your lettuce is not going to like it. So the best thing to do is grow your lettuce in the spring, get it harvested, you know, by May or June, and you shouldn't have any problems with it. And then plant it again in the fall, and you know, October, November, you should be having some good lettuce. But lettuce is just, it likes cool temperatures, and there are some that tolerate heat. So try picking a variety like that. Try, you know, go out on the internet and look at some seeds and see which ones tolerate heat well. Try those, and it's just going to be trial and error. So anyways, that's just how lettuce works. So lettuce is just that way. Okay, in a Facebook post, some people were recommending foliar feeding. What are your thoughts on it? Well, foliar feeding started like in the 50s or something, and there was some kind of research done, I think, at some college that they said that plants can take in fertilizer nutrients through its leaves quicker than going through the root system and having to come up and whatnot. And I mean, I suppose maybe in some regards that is true, but I don't know. I have a problem with spraying fertilizer on my leaves. Now, if it's going to be something that I'm not going to be eating the leaves, yeah, you could probably do it. I don't know. To me, I don't foliar feed, because especially if it's lettuce, broccoli, things like that. Even my tomatoes, if I spray it on my tomatoes, you got to wash them really well, and it just, to me, do I see a benefit from foliar feeding? No, I don't. I think foliar feeding, I know people are going to hate me for this, but I say bunk. I say bunk on foliar feeding. I'm a firm believer in the health of the soil, getting the roots healthy, and then let the roots take up all the nutrients that it needs. And I don't worry about the leaves, because I don't think it's, in my opinion, I mean, I don't want to eat anything that's been sprayed with fertilizer or even compost tea, on the leaves. I'm not going to do it. So I've had great luck feeding the soil, feeding the roots, and to me, that's what everybody should be more concerned about. So, but yeah, to each his own. So. Okay, next one. I heard you say that you don't use animal manures on your property at all. Can you explain why? Okay, I don't use animal manures because I don't raise animals. So basically, I'm a vegetarian. So I don't eat meat. So I don't raise any animals for the meat. I don't drink cow's milk. So because I think that cow's milk is really for baby cows. It's not for humans. So I don't have any animals where I don't need any animals on the property. But so I don't need the meat and I don't need the milk. So why would I raise them just to get their manures? To me, that's just a complete waste of resources. But I did read an article that says it takes, I'll try to find it. If I can find it, I'll post a link. But it takes like 2,400 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of meat. And it takes like 60 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of vegetables. Now, a lot of people might say that's a screwy number, but no, I really believe that to be true, because I was born farming. Okay, I was raised on farms, and we had cows and pigs and all that. Man, they consumed a lot of resources. Cows drank all stinking day long, and so I can see that. Now, there is one animal that I am considering raising again, because I do eat eggs. I'm not a vegan. And chickens, because I think chickens are a great resource. They don't eat a lot. They're easy to manage. Of course, I wouldn't eat the meat because I don't eat chicken. I don't eat any kind of meat. But you could. They're easy to manage. They're small. If you have a problem with one of them, that one of them dies or something, they're very easy to transport. To take and bury. And I just did not like raising cows. I just didn't. They were dumb. They were. I know what you guys are doing. Oh, you're starting to type right now. Call my cow dumb. I'm sorry, but the cows we had were dumb. You couldn't push them, and they were just hard to manage. And one of them got sick. You tried to give it medicine or anything. It's just frustration. So chickens are easy to take care of, and the chicken manure is one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best manures that you can put in your garden after it's composted. So I am considering that, and I don't buy any manures, because a lot of people say, well, you can import your manures. I can't verify the health of the manure, so because I can't, I don't want anybody else's manure. Everything that I generate on my property is just what I produce. All the vegetables go back to compost, and I had chickens at one time a few years ago, and I am considering getting some more chickens. So that's probably my next step. I probably am going to get a couple dozen chickens. But anyways, that's why I don't use any manures. Not saying that I'm against manures. I think a lot of your problems that you have, like with E. coli and whatnot, It all comes from manures. So I think there's a danger also that there's a risk involved with using manures, and I don't want to take that risk. I like working with non-manure soil, whatever that makes sense. But anyways, yeah, chickens have less effort, less maintenance. I hope you guys are having a great summer, growing lots of good stuff. You're starting to harvest now, so that's a good thing. Anyways, so thanks a lot for watching, guys, and don't forget to go out to the forum on our website and sign up and join our forum too. You get a lot of questions answered there. A good community of people, so make sure you do that. I'll put a link below. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you later.